Tell me it's okay. You can still change the direction of this whole situation. It's what you think, what you, the people, think. Not that they would take into consideration what you're thinking, but at least if you express what you're saying, they may have to reconsider. Officially, they'll have to reconsider. Because not only are you, the Bahamian people, listening to this show today, everyone around the world is listening to this show. Even the Chinese are listening to this show. Even the Americans are listening to this show. How do you say? Because you see, while we may have a hospital that's been in our midst for 70 plus years, and that is true, it's been around that long. The case is, we've had so many business people come to this town and use these Bahamian people for so much things. It's pathetic that we didn't get a hospital a long time ago from other people who wanted to represent themselves in this Bahamas. The British could have represented themselves better if they really wanted to. But you see, I believe they're saying that we're now an independent country, so there goes that. The Americans could have done something as well to ensure that we were able to do some things that we wanted to do. And healthcare in the Bahamas is the pits. Don't tell me, because I just know. I just lost the whole daughter in the hospital. Don't think that I'm going to forget about that. But the point is this. I'm not talking about that today. I'm showing you something. Fred Mitchell, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, has been complaining that the hospital is the pits. He said so in a recent post he made. You can get a good health care in the Bahamas. No way. Now, he used it, of course, to say that this is the reason why the people may, in fact, want to consider the Chinese doing something, this big project, so to speak, for us and the Bahamas government. But the whole bottom line is this. When you get sick, you got to stay right here in the Bahamas because you ain't got no money. When they get sick, they fly out to get real health care. What is good for the goose should be good for the gander, but it ain't so. If they tell you it's so, then you're foolish. So talk to me today. Let me know how you really feel about this whole thing. And let's put this thing to rest once and for all. Either you're going to get this hospital, you're going to approve it, or you're not going to approve it. If you're not going to approve it, are you willing to fight to not approve it? Because I don't know how you all go. The minute you talk about fight for something, you rest your butts down on the table and you ain't got nothing to do except complain. So talk to me today. I challenge you to talk to me today. I'm ready to talk to you if you want to talk to me. Because radio is a means of make sure that you've got the right communications going elsewhere in the entire world. And we are on live in all the countries right now at 5 o'clock. Those people who are in Canada and Jamaica and Grand Bahama and here New Providence and Trinidad and Tobago and Jabim in Africa, wherever you are, you can hear us. Call. This is your show. We do the show for you. If you don't want these people here, you shouldn't have these people here. If you believe that you're going to be beholden to these people, you shouldn't have them here. But if you want to play, let's see what can happen, let's see how this thing can fly and all of it, that's up to you. You got to make the decisions. Not Brave Davis, not Michael Darble. They are the people who are supposed to be conveying your decision in the auspices of that House of Assembly to make that law and such and such and such and such, and all that kind of stuff. But you see, you have that say. Now, I know you've been discouraged about using your say because they don't listen to you all anyhow. But don't let them discourage you. Yeah, we need a hospital. Yeah, we need state-of-the-art facilities. Yeah, we need to be able to fix some things and make sure our people don't go off to some other country and don't ever come back. They say that for the politicians can have one segment because they can't get good health care. You have to go through a training room, making sure that you're getting proper health care. Something is wrong with schools. The kids go to boarding schools and stuff. What are you doing? What are you dealing with, you people? What are behaviors you're really dealing with? You mean you want to take this second class citizen kind of thing? That's what you're into. Because if the politicians have a feeling that that's what you're into, they can give you more. So this is something that you've got to really consider. Take your time, make your statements, and say what you have to say. All right, we're talking about that today right here on the show with Lincoln Bain, my man of action, and your man of action, because these days they're telling me, and I do believe it now, if Lincoln Bain is not involved in it in any which way, nothing's happening for the Bahamian people. Everybody else doing their own thing. Every potential party is doing their own thing. Every potential big time talker is doing his own thing. They're not into you. Everyone who talks about the sovereign wealth fund, they're not into you either. Those who talk about the Constitution, are they really into you? Because I've got to ask some serious questions. This is the time for me to ask very serious questions. I'm wondering if I was wasting my time. I'm wondering that. Have I been wasting my time? I've given you a full camera shot. Because you see, there's nothing worse than a man wasting his time hoping that you, the Bahamian people, and others would get the message that you want to see improvement in your country. Now, I want to say those things. Everything that I said just now, I wanted to say those things. And there is more. I warn you, there is more. You know why? Because the people have got to get serious, soberly serious. Everyone who wants to play a game in the national development of this country must get absolutely serious about that game that they're playing. This is no time for jiving. Those jivey days over. This whole thing with the Chinese coming in to build a hospital is the first in a series, and I warn you, is the first in a series of these kinds of situations to happen to you, the Bahamian people. I hope you're hearing me. I talk in some, and I leave in some, but I'm warning you. Because if you don't want to run your country, that's too bad. There are others who want to run the country, and they will. With these bunch of people who are now in the government, who's to say that they won't run the country? Are they being dictated to? These are real questions. These are questions that Pintard and others ought to be asking every single day because the country is in jeopardy. That's what it is. And you do not know what's actually happening. I've been here every day telling you things. You've proven me right. You've proven what I've been saying to be right. Yet you have not moved, not one finger. You've not gotten off your backsides to do anything about it. Lincoln Bain has been here telling you what to do. You've not done anything about it. Ricardo Thurston has been here telling you how to do some things. You've not moved. What are you waiting for? You want to lose the country? Then that will be too late. This is a serious time I'm talking about right now. And all of this is going to happen, believe you me, before the next general elections. I know you all know what I'm talking about, eh? It's unbelievable what I'm talking about. But I only can give you this one piece at a time, hoping, hoping that you will get it and understand you've got to move, or you will be moved out of the way. So today, we deal with the hospital right here on the show. And when we come back, we'll introduce Lincoln Bay. And all of you people who want to call me, you can call me at 376-9234 or 821-9234. Write them down. 376-9234 or 821-9234. So you can call me, be a part of our conversation, because I believe you all want a new hospital. And some of us believe that doesn't matter how it happened, just build it. We can go in it, we can occupy it. But you may be building it for some other people who are not from your nationality. You think them other people didn't see that? Ah, got your attention? Some other people see that too. Who uses the hospital anyway? Do Bahamians use the hospital? Hmm? Do we use the hospital? Or do we have all the live births in the hospital? That's just what I speculate. When you think of the multiplicity of things that's going to happen in the hospital, all the science and all the kind of things like that, and all the pediatric care. Mhm. Now, who uses the hospital again? Who did you say? And I'm not just talking about one nationality. You got to get up off your, get ready, get moving. Understand what I'm saying here today. Because we are in trouble. 5:21 is the time right now. We're going to run to the break, come back, and when we come back, we'll give you the introduction and, of course, more with Lincoln Bay in just a minute. And when we come back, we'll do that in just a second. Hang tight. Thank you for doing it, ladies and gentlemen. Please share. Please use your app followers and your app highlight, and please share this as soon as the commercial break is over. We're going to get into it. We're going to talk about what's going on in the country today, including the hospital. We're going to be muted until we start again, so you'll just see. You may see me, but you won't be able to hear us until we go live again. All right. So we'll be right back.
If you're just tuning in, we are live on Steve McKinney Show, and we're on a commercial break right now. That's why you can't hear us. We're muted right now, and so I see people on WhatsApp saying, "Ask me to check the sound," but we're on commercial break, and so that's why you can't hear us. All right. So thank you so much. As soon as the commercials are finished, we'll be live. We're still on commercial break. We'll be back in 1 minute. We're almost there.
And of course, been having some rain on the outside. It is Monday the 27th as you battle the congested city streets and drive home traffic. We have a mixture of sun and cloud. Temperatures at 89 today. The nation's capital, low tonight of 74. Thank you so much for joining us on the drive home. I'm Steve McKinney. This is Hard Copy. Expect cloudy skies with rain in the forecast later this evening. And we're being brought to you today by GAW Auto Parts, J.S. Johnson Insurance Company Limited, National Insurance Board, Advantage Insurance and Brokers, 61 Collins Avenue, Sandy's Cafe, reopened on Blake Road, Executive Printers on Jerome Avenue, the Perfume Bar, all around New Providence, Cool Tech, electronically reselling highway, Supervisor of the Albany Supermarket, Rocky Farms Nursery, Time to Garden right now, McKinney Media Group, 32 Gibbs Lane in Fort Charlotte, and of course, Geneva Brass Seafood on Eden Street in Chippenham, Ron's Electric Motors, Clarendon Wolf Road, Bahamas Foot and Ankle out there on Blake Road and Rosetta Street, Super Wash at locations everywhere, Mac and Steve on Soldier Road, Central Super Center, East Street North, and Bahamas Liquidators over there on Mackey Street. Now, of course, today on the show, we're talking with the man who has decided that this is what's going to happen. We're talking about all the right things in the country today. And we're talking with none other than Lincoln Vane, A man who people believe can do the trick and perform magic in this beautiful city. So, Lincoln Bain, we want to welcome you here to the show today. It's 5:33 in the afternoon. We want to welcome all of our callers from around the world listening in on MIXLR and, of course, on the World Wide Web and other places of interest. And, of course, the Cable Talk Box 970 and everywhere that they can listen to us on this station. We welcome you here to Peace 107.5 FM, the home of hard copy. And so, Lincoln Bain, lots of things have been happening
Yes.
in this country. Lots of things have been happening in this country so far. And a lot of people are saying, but what is really going on in the Bahamas today? They take a look at our crime, they see what it is. They took a look at our immigration, they see what exactly it is. They took a look at our governance of the country and they see, boy, this is not the best thing to have happened for a country as beautiful as the Bahamas. We've got so many problems, so many things that are going wrong in our country. And we've got people who have been saying to us that, don't worry, we got this under control. And they've been saying that a whole lot in recent times. And as a result of that, they are now saying to us that, boy, it's going to be okay. Not to worry with a thing, it's going to be okay. That's what they're saying. It's going to be okay. Well, is it going to be okay? Because now they're thinking that they're going to have to now try and build a new hospital here in the Bahamas. And the place, the location, may be important to some people, may be very important to the Chinese, I don't know. But Michael Dowell and Philip Brave Davis and company, they're saying things like, we hear what you're saying. But it's a little too late for that now because, we are not going to stop our plans to build this new hospital in the Bahamas. I wonder your thoughts about that and other things because I know that you're loaded as a man. You've been traveling all around and you're just getting back to the city. So I know you've heard a lot of things that's been happening in this country. What's happening? What you got on your mind today on this Monday?
Well, there's so much things to say right now. Like the famous Bob Marley song says, Steve. First of all, I want to say good afternoon to the Bahamian people, and I want to thank you for your continued support and continuing to fight for this one country that we have. We don't have no other country, so we got to fight for this one, Steve. We can start with the hospital because there's so many things to talk about. We have crime that's still going out of control. We have a lot of corruption, which is a main problem. There's still a major immigration problem, even though they're not touching it right now. The country is overflowing, and so we have some stuff to talk about. But on this hospital model, we can start there, Steve. They are doing a play with words. All right.
Are they?
I think it's shameful to call this a hospital.
Hmm.
They are saying that we need a hospital. If we need a hospital, then build a hospital. Why are you shamming us with a maternity ward, a maternity clinic? That's what it
Is that
is.
what it is, a maternity clinic?
That's what they say it is. It's a maternity clinic.
Well, that's why I mentioned this whole thing about who uses the hospital anyway. Are we the people using this hospital for maternity benefits, for the maternity clinic, for the maternity?
Yeah, well, out of 20 babies born, one is Bahamian.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, who are they building this for? See, that's a big question. People don't want to ask that question because they're afraid of the question.
Well, there's a couple things we got to look into as it relates to that. Who are they building it for? Who owns the land that they're going to put it on?
Absolutely.
So I'll address that. But firstly, stop calling this a hospital.
Okay.
Yes, I agree we need a hospital, but they're deceiving people by calling this a hospital. And while technically it is a hospital, it's really a maternity clinic. And you can call it a hospital because persons will be able to sleep in there if they had a baby, or if it's a child, etc.
Mhm.
So you can call it a hospital. All right. And so that technically makes it a hospital. But this is not even for women. They say it's a hospital for women and women are 50% of society. No, this is not. This is not a hospital for women. This is only a hospital for women having babies. So if you're a woman who is diabetic and having issues, if you're a woman who has high blood pressure or you're having other issues, you're not going to be seen here. This is not for you. This is a maternity clinic.
All right.
It's simple as that. So you're spending $290 million, $300 million
If they
on.
tell the people that this is the maternity.
They told them, but they keep using the word hospital and playing on people's mind because they use that word. Yeah, it's a mind game. And it is a mind game to play with people's mind that we're finally building a hospital. No one has built a hospital. No, you're not. You're building a maternity clinic. Give us the hospital that we need, then you can cry success. That's the first thing. The second thing, Steve, is if you look at their own documents that they released during the town hall meeting, and it's right there in writing. And I'm shocked that no one in the media paid attention to it. All right, because they're busy singing their praises. It says that this hospital is going to take at least 36 months to build. The problem is the elections is now in 37 months. This month is over. It has to be in 37 months. Sorry, 27 months or less.
Yes.
The election is in 27 months or less. This hospital will take at least 26 months to build. So what you are admitting is that you failed because you're not going to be able to build this hospital in your term. So this is not a fulfilled promise. This is a failure. They were renovating A&E from the last administration, from ministers in, over 3 years. They were just renovating A&E. That ain't finished yet. So how you telling me you could build a $290 million hospital in the same amount of time?
It seems like the government has been getting into all kinds of things and mischief, I call it, because they had this place down in Abaco, in one of the islands. The people are saying that they started to break ground for that from 2023 or something like that. They were supposed to have built this airport down there, and that's not happened yet. And
where's that?
It was, I think it's Cat Island. I think it was.
Yeah, it's Cat Island.
Cat Island. It said that Michael Dowell has been saying things like, listen, just put up the wall and just make it look as if we have something done, but
there's a video
I cannot believe that.
There's a video that a PLP troll released. He was recording, and I don't think he realized that you could hear what Michael Dowell was saying. And Michael Dowell is there saying, we're gonna stage it. We're gonna fake this, just make it look. So you all just stand here, and Bishop, you make it look like you're talking to the Prime Minister and telling him something. And so you all just move like you're doing something. You all pretend like you're doing something. They brought in workers and say, y'all just stand around here, and then you all just start drilling and make it sound like you're doing something. Like this is the PR faking government. Everything is PR and faking and nonsense. That's what this government is about. Faking. And they should be embarrassed. They should be asked to stand down because they've done that. Okay, so now we have an issue that the same man who built the building in Oran Bailey that collapsed is the same man who has this contract for the Cat Island airport. And now we're seeing that they broke ground in March of last year. This is a year and 3 months, a year and 3 months later, and they've just put up one wall. And you can see Dr. Dowell in the video tell him you got to take it from this angle because there's only partially one wall is up. Because you have to take it from this angle because if you take it from any other angle, they'll see that only part of one wall, the front wall is up, part of it. And so they're taking in front of that piece of wall. But the building is not, they're not doing anything. And those shabbily persons who work in it is saying that whole thing is going to have to come down. Like they just threw it up to do a PR exercise. And that's the problem. That's a failure. And that's the Prime Minister of the country who can direct for funds to go toward his constituency. And my thing is, why at this point, at the town hall meeting, they were talking about we're going to do this and we're going to do that. Why 3 years after you've been elected, you're still talking about what you're going to do? You should be wrapping things up now. You're talking about what you're going to do at this point, 3 years later? That is utterly ridiculous. That would not be acceptable. In America, you only have 4 years. So 3 years, you're still talking about you're going to do this, you're going to do that. It's because you've done nothing.
Maybe it's because our people just buy any old thing.
Yeah,
that could be it.
They just support their party and they don't care about the country.
That's what is happening.
So when they get sick and have to go to the hospital and realize that there are no beds, they're out of medicine, and they're getting bad service, and their family member dies, all of a sudden they can complain. But you should have thought of that when you were voting. You should have thought of that. You're going to vote for the PLP that failed to build a hospital in over 70 years. You're going to vote for the F&M that failed to build a hospital in over 70 years. Look at how much money these oligarchs have been making from us. Y'all couldn't even build us a hospital. Not even a hospital, Steve. All the money y'all make from us every time y'all get in office. Just build us a hospital.
Conspiracy theory tells us that these guys don't want us to be around anyway. So, maybe we believe in that.
Yeah.
Maybe we believe in a pack of nonsense and foolish things that has gotten into our heads. And we can't straighten ourselves out. But we need to stand on many issues this country is confronting. It's been confronted with. And it doesn't look as if it's going to happen because, take for instance yourself, right? You've been out there doing all these things. I said to come along and support. Many have come.
Mhm.
But the real people who, in fact, want to be there are afraid to go there and say what they have to say because they don't believe that they really own this country.
Mhm.
If they really believe that they own this country, they'd be there.
Mhm.
Same thing I can say with Ricardo Thurston and all the others who've been trying to galvanize people to make something happen. It's not happening.
Mhm.
It's not happening because we just talking too much. We don't show no action.
But I can tell you this, Steve. Talking about, you see, the revolution does not start behind a microphone. The revolution happens on the street.
Absolutely.
So if you want change, you have to take action. You have to actually do something. All right. And I just want to say this because there are a lot of people out there who care about this country just as much as me. And I don't have the monopoly on fighting for anything or for anyone. I don't have the monopoly on ideas, etc. There are a lot of people out there who are fighting for different causes. And I think that all of us should work together if we have the same cause that we're fighting for. And I encourage everyone to work together. But just talking about things is not going to do it. Steve, I will say to you, Steve, I will say to you, in 2020, we were educating Bahamians about our natural resources and about our carbon credits. We didn't just talk about this. We first protest that we had, a lot of people came out in the pandemic. Remember, there was lockdowns and it was illegal for you to gather in crowds. People still came out in numbers at the Russian Square. We filed a complaint to the FBI about the skullduggery that went on with our natural resources, that they acknowledge. Their concern is the statute of limitations after all this time. But we did something, all right? And we did other things at that time. We educated people about what's going on. When we came back for our next protests, again, it was lockdowns and people still came out, risked their lives and their health. And I want to thank Bahamians who stood up and risked their lives, even though the competent authority said, if you come out to this protest, you could die. They came out. And what did we do? We drafted a bill, Steve. A lot of people don't remember this. We drafted a bill to be tabled in Parliament. And we had that bill tabled in Parliament. I just want to make sure everyone, listening remembers that. It was tabled in Parliament. The F&M government fought it down. They fought against it in Parliament, but it still was tabled while we were standing outside. The Speaker of the House, Steve, said because they were fighting the F&M. All of these same people, these Pintard and all these people were fighting against the People's Bill. And the Speaker of the House said, okay, whoever, I'm going to let you all vote on whether this bill should be tabled, which he didn't have to do. That was Halson Mutri. He said, whoever opposes the bill, stand up now. Whoever is in favor, remain seated. And a miracle happened. Go back to the tape and watch it. Everyone froze in their seats. It was like God held them down. It was like God was ready to make a statement and no one moved. And Halson looked at them shocked. And he said, okay, the bill is passed. And after he said that, everyone was shocked. Like they woke up and they started to stand up. I'm on my foot. I'm on my foot. And he's like, no, it's too late. I've never seen nothing like that. Yeah. And that shows that from the beginning, God was in this. That was a miracle. Those men, they're experts. They've been in Parliament for a long time. They know what to do. They could have started on their foot, but that bill had to be tabled symbolically. And we were outside and the bill was tabled. And they came the next week, and they sent it to the bill to committee. All right. But the bill was tabled. So we drafted legislation in House of Assembly. We then came out the next week and we filed for commission of inquiry with the Governor General. All right. commission of inquiry for our aragonite, then a commission of inquiry for our oil, and what has been going on in this country.
So I gave you the go ahead to make some things, other things happen.
Yes, and we also filed for commission of inquiry recently with our with reference to immigration and the skullduggery that was going on there. So we have been taking action, and the reason we've been doing that is not that we believe that the politicians were going to do what we say. We're doing that because we wanted the public to see that these people are fighting against you. They started to talk all this talk in the FNM. The Prime Minister said after we showed the documents and showed the proof of you about to have a big rally on Orange Bailey Park, afterwards, the Prime Minister at the time, Minister said, okay, I'm going to give you a sovereign wealth fund, but I'm going to take $2 billion from it to build some roads and airports and all that. Remember when he said that?
Yes.
All right, we went back on the street to test him. And so we went there and tabled the bill. We're not waiting for you. Here is the bill. This will make us benefit from our natural resources, and let's see what you all are going to do. And they voted against that bill. We forced their hands. All right. So we've been taking action from the beginning of this. We've been educating people about carbon credits. Before election, we were talking about the carbon credits. Everyone, not everyone, the government and the opposition was saying Lincoln Bain is selling dreams. As I came on your show, as I went on my lives and I educated the people, I went on the streets and said the carbon credits thing is real. That is a big opportunity for us. We can make billions from this as a country. We should benefit from that. We read it out to them. We educated the people on that. And they said Lincoln is selling dreams. They castigated me. Oh, it's a scam. Carbon credits isn't real. Until after election, that's all they're talking about. And so I said all that to remind persons of what we have been doing. We came to the point where we realized, Steve, that activism is not enough. Going on the street and begging the government to do what is right is not enough. You have to take the government. I learned that sitting in the cell, this premonition came from me when they locked me up on fake charges before that Orange Bailey rally we were going to have. And a premonition came to me, and I was shown the Arab Spring, where all these countries were rising up in the Middle East and overthrowing their government. The countries where the activists just changed the government, removed the government and put in the opposition, they are worse now than they were before the Arab Spring. They're worse. The government came in and got more tyrannical, and they were making sure that Arab Spring will never happen again. We can't let that happen again. So they went after all of the activists. They went after the media houses, shut them down, did whatever they had to do, persecuted the people, and made it worse. The countries where the activists went into politics and into the house to make the changes, all of them are in a better place now. So in the Middle East, you have some countries like Qatar, where all the people were made billionaire, Kuwait, the United Arab Emirates, and then you have other countries where they're worse than they were in the beginning. Bahrain, better than they were in the beginning. These countries did amazing things. And so I want to say this to everyone who wants to see a new Bahamas. It's time for us to organize like Pindon and Milo Butler did. If Pindon and Milo Butler had kept going in the banks and screaming, let my black people come on Bay Street, let my black people have jobs in the banks, let my black people have bank accounts. If they were still waiting for the UBP to do what's right and lobbying them and writing to them, we would have still been unable to go on Bay Street after dark. You have to go and take the government. So here are some people saying you shouldn't make this political, but
Everything is
I have drafted a bill and presented it to the House of Assembly. That's political. Politics means the affairs of the people. Polis is the Latin word for the people. Poll. When you go to the poll, you go to the people. That's the word polis. All right. And so that's all politics mean. Martin Luther King was a politician. He was in politics because he was concerned with the affairs of the people. Politics doesn't mean election. It doesn't mean election. It means the affairs of the people. And so everything you do, it has to go to the politicians. If we draft a bill right now and take it to Dave Bravis to say, give us our sovereign wealth fund, aren't we going to pass it to the PLP and ask them to do what's right? So you're still in politics and you still go into a party to ask them to do what's right.
So your whole thing is that when people have this idea that you got to keep politics out of it, we ain't not political. We're not going to be doing this. We're not going to be doing that. Everything same side of politics. The whole thing is political, whether they like it or not. That's what it is. Because at the end of the day, as you just explained, if they pass something, if they get something done, you've got to go to these other people to get it passed through.
If you
What
go,
does that mean? That means that it is still politics.
that means you need to get the pen. The pen is mightier than the sword. It is mightier than the atomic bomb. You have to get the pen. And we are going after the pen, not the seat, the pen. You can sit in the seat, plenty members of government in the seat, but they ain't got no say. We ain't just going for the seat. We going for the pen. Because the one with the pen who can sign our bills, that's the powerful person. Steve, this Sunday, I've been revealing documents every week for years. I have so many documents. I could reveal documents for the next 100 years. All right. But we've been revealing documents about our natural resources and that kind of stuff. I'm going to reveal a document to you that's going to change the game. This Sunday, live, 5 o'clock, join my live, and you're going to see. We're going to reveal a document that's a game changer. That's going to cause everyone's eye to open and to see where we really are. All right. That's this Sunday on my live on Facebook and on YouTube. Some people say they don't have Facebook. I'm on YouTube also. We're going to change the game. All right. And so we have to take real action, Steve. All right. All this talk and is not going to help. So,
Yes, good afternoon. How are you, sir?
These various people come on your show, on all the shows, talking about the government and the country and all that type of stuff. It would never be no change because we are too intellectual. Everybody want to be so smart, and people are saying things that really does not necessitate, does bring about any change, doesn't assist with bringing about change.
Understood.
We inherit a system of governance that does not help the people in this country. It's a slavery type. In other words, we're being ruled. We have rules here. All right. When one man got the power, that's a ruler. Okay. All those men in that House of Assembly, one of them would say anything if the leader come up and make a suggestion or say something or plan something that they don't think is beneficial for the people, would advance the people. They advance the country, but not the people. They'd never open their mouth. They would never open their mouth because why? They need a seat to get our money, to get our salary. We need to have no change. Only change can bring change. And we're not going to have that until we change the system of governance. Think about that for a while. Just as simple as that sounds. The system of governance does not help the people in this country. All we're doing is borrowing and deeper debt. Okay? And all, like the gentleman say, fake news and all this fake movement. This is intellectual. I'm sorry to see the state we're in. Think about that for a while.
Appreciate the call. Thank you much.
I agree with him 100%. And that's why we're going to change the game. We're going to change the entire system. Now, the problem isn't necessarily our system because there are other countries that have the same system as us, but they don't have the problems that we have. All right. We have corrupt persons guarding the gate.
Okay.
All right. So it doesn't matter how good your gate is, how good your locks are. If you have a corrupt person at the gate, it doesn't matter what the gate is. And so we put corrupt persons in parliament, and the FNM and PLP have been working together to rape us and pretending that they're not one. All right. But that's another story. But we have to change the system. And that's why we're going to implement something called island states and city government. That is going to take power away from the politician. All right. And we're taking power away from the prime minister, power away from the members of parliament. The problem is after every election, the member of parliament changes his phone. You can't get him to get nothing done. You need a stop sign in your community, nothing.
I've been trying for months to get the speed bumps out there on the streets.
Wow.
Kids' name. The kids are playing in the road. Okay? And they almost get knocked. Just about every day, somebody almost get knocked down.
Yeah.
These cars are coming through Gibbs Lane, in particular, speeding like hell, like a battle. I've been complaining about that from the last year, from the time they did it. So no one has ever changed. No one has ever put back those speed bumps. And this is just my little neighborhood.
Wow.
You can imagine in all these areas, these guys have dug up the road didn't repave the road with no bumps in the vicinity of these roads. And they know that these roads are roads of neighborhoods, the children crossing the path. And that's why people are getting knocking down, being knocked down.
Wow.
Why can't they just put the bumps back in the road? See, that's a different story. I don't want to go off on that place, but the point is this: is something as simple as just putting the bumps right back in the road after you then dig up the people's road and you didn't put the bumps back. You know that those bumps were there for a reason?
Yeah.
This is a neighborhood, and the children are riding bikes and stuff. It's unbelievable. And no one, I've been calling Clay Sweeten, and I'm calling him again. Clay Sweeten, you've got to get in these areas and fix these roads. You pave the roads, and we thank God for you paved the roads, but the bumps are not back in the roads, and people are passing through these corners making a world of speed.
Yeah.
Come now,
Steve,
let's get it fixed.
Steve, and this is why we're implementing Island State and City government. I'll paint a picture of the Bahamas for you. The Bahamas is Nassau centric, and all of our family islands are neglected. Every single one, including our second city of Freeport and Grand Bahama, all are neglected. Island states means the money made on an island stays on the island. They pay a royalty to the central government so you can operate central services, police, etc., etc. And we're going to have municipal cities where you have in your city, you have councillors, city councils, and they are going to determine with their own budget what they do, real budget. And we have local government now, but that's a sham. All right. Ingham did that to appease the international community that was trying to force this on people, but he did it and didn't give them a real budget and didn't do anything for them. All right, didn't give them real power. But now we're going to give them the full autonomy over where they are. If in Miami, if they want to build a bridge, they don't have to talk to Biden. They don't have to get permission from him. The governor can't even tell them what to do. Your local city council decides what you do. All right.
That's how you're going to take the power away.
That's how we take the power from the politician. Understood. So when you need to do something in your community, the politician need to find you. You don't have to find him. If he won't get something done, you got to come to the people.
Absolutely. Yes. Hard copy, got to have it down. Yes, sir. Yes.
I like to talk about, and this is my opinion about the hospital. My wife had a baby, and she said she did a blood test, and everything was fine. While she was sleeping, they still would get blood from her. Now, I know the vaccine is talking about, but, something that a lot of people don't want to really talk about.
Yes, you're right about that.
They need blood. They need blood. And a lot of women always in labor, always have problems. They don't go to the hospital as much as women. Anything happens to a woman, they go to the hospital. It's easier to get blood from a woman and a child. Very, very easy. And I think personally it's a blood thing. You understand?
You mean this new hospital is a blood thing? It's all about getting people blood?
Yeah, because they need to search eventually. Because I've been keeping up with the people who vaccinated and unvaccinated. They need blood. They need blood from people who are not vaccinated. They are not going to be like,
I hear what you're saying.
Like everybody out there.
I hear what you're saying. My Lord, that's scary.
No, it is very scary, but nobody's thinking about that. See, they ain't thinking about that because right now, people asking, the hospital asking every day, donate blood, donate blood, donate blood.
Yes. You're asking more and more these days. Yeah, you're right about that.
You understand? So the blood control, personally, that is the reason why I say
big commodity.
You understand? So I just want to say something that I wrote down for the show while I was talking or whatever. If you put a banana and money in front of a monkey, the monkey would choose banana because the monkey doesn't know money can buy a lot of bananas. And in fact, if you all work in business, people they will choose work because most people don't know that business can make more money than their salary. One of the reasons why the poor is poor is because they are not trained to recognized entrepreneurial
Mm, understood.
and a lot of times in schools, what they learn, school and in school is to work for a salary instead of working for themselves. Corporate is better than wages because wages can support you, but corporate can make you a fortune making money. And acting, keeping money is a behavior. Growing money is knowledge. And basically, what I'm trying to say is the minds, they manipulated this. They know what they were doing for years. And I'm sorry to say that a lot of behaviors are like monkeys. The majority of people that follow in Lincoln Bean are actually entrepreneurs, to be honest with you. And the people who don't want to work at 9 to 5 anymore, they want opportunities. So that's the wages between the fight and the body, between the PRPF and the
I
single
see.
line. You get it?
I appreciate what you're saying.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Appreciate it. Lord, and Lord, I'm thrown off by this whole fact about the gentleman says, what if, in fact, these guys are in search of blood as a commodity and not really a hospital? As Lincoln Bennett said earlier, this is the maternity ward, basically.
Mhm.
It's not the maternity clinic. It's not really a hospital per se. That makes us think. Put on your thing again for Obama for a second. Is it feasible that the Chinese people could, in fact, be looking at building and staffing a hospital in the Bahamas because they could be in search of new ventures concerning blood?
Wow.
I mean,
It's something to think about.
that's mind-boggling, really. I mean, but it happens on the show because see, people are hip to a lot of things, and people are doing a lot of reading, and people are understanding some things that we don't even understand ourselves.
Yeah.
Sometimes the politicians may not even understand what really this whole thing is all about. I mean, as somebody said, $290 million for a hospital. What is that really for?
Mhm.
That's a big question. Dwayne Sands said from the FNM, he says, why couldn't you just improve the hospital where it is now or built subsections of the different hospital and just make the whole thing a big improvement overall to show that you have been doing something or have been thinking of some things and be innovative and do some things at the general hospital. Yet we are moving along the lines of fast tracking things for the Chinese. And now Michael Dowie, the Minister of Health and Wellness, says, look, this is what I'm thinking. You all make some good points, but that's not gonna, it wasn't good enough for us to stop what we are doing and cease from what we are doing now. And we're gonna still build the hospital the way that we want to build the hospital. That's a total, he's totally ignoring what the Bahamian people are saying. And the Bahamian people have not fought back on the whole matter at all. It says, well, that's what they say, so I guess that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah, I think Dwayne Sands had zero credibility as relates to this because
Okay.
Dwayne Sands, Dr. Minnis, and many Minnis who are called Pintard, because they were in this together. All right, he can't say, "Oh, that was Minnis, and we want to do something different." No, you were in the cabinet when he was locking us down. You were there. You participated in that. And someone says, "Well, if you're in cabinet, you can't say anything, against cabinet when you come out of it because you might lose your job." Then that shows you have no integrity. There were other members of parliament who risked losing their job when they tried to raise back. And so it shows that Pintard has no credibility because he was there with them. He was there while Minister was doing, and he said nothing about nothing. And so he was complicit in it. So you were trying to save what? Your job? And I don't know of any career that Pintard has, and so a job might be important to him. But you're worried about losing your job over saving lives, over people who were getting locked down. The COI was out there doing protests. Remember, we protested and stopped Minister from that lockdown with immediate effect. And he locked up some people and was forced to release them. He was forced to stop that lockdown. It was us who was fighting against him. Uh, The Minister cabinet did nothing, and the PLP did nothing to stop this monster, this depraved monster. So I'm going to call Pintard Mini Menace, all right, because he was there, complicit with everything that happened. He can't separate himself. So they did not build a hospital. That's Dwayne Sands, Menace, and Mini Menace did not build a hospital. So I don't want to hear anything from them. They have zero credibility. They bragged and Menace said, "Okay, I'm going to build a six-tower hospital. I have the money already." That them years came and gone and nothing. This administration come in, so the money is already there because it came from the IDB. All right, I see the money. All right, and they got $250 million from the IDB, and that money disappeared. The IDB been asking them to account for this money, nothing. The PLP ain't account for it either. They ain't say, okay, see what minister did with the money. All of them silent. All right, all of the skullduggery that happened with Dorian. You see the PLP complaining or exposing what Minister and Pintard them did. Nothing. No commission of inquiry, no exposure of what happened under Minas. They just let it continue because they're working together. They're not against each other. And so I don't want to hear anything from Pintard, Minas, or Mini Minas, or Sands about this hospital. Let the people talk about this. All right. So we'll talk about this because we've been fighting for this. The COI has. Had protests. Marie Daxon has been arrested outside of that hospital, trying to defend Bahamians who are outside going trying to go to A&E, and they're outside sleeping in the draft with rats running around outside in the rain, getting wet up in the rain. All right, Pintard said nothing. The PLP said nothing while people were suffering.
Let me ask you about this hospital, because while we're on the topic of all this thing, um, what would you say is the best remedy that we can come up with now as a self-sufficiency kind of scheme of things to make sure that we, in fact, built our real hospital, built our own hospital? What other things that you can offer right now to this particular government, just for the record, even if they don't want to listen to you?
I won't use our words, right? Our numbers, sorry. Uh Michigan State University says that our carbon credits from our seagrass alone is worth $156 billion. All right, that's the value. All right, so that's what you can get if you monetize all of that. And so even if you get half of that, that's pretty good. If you get 10% of that, that's pretty good. All right. So if you have all this value, why are you out there begging? Why are you traveling around the world begging like beggars? Have we no pride? Bahamians are people with pride. We don't beg. And so the attorney general last month, he came in the Senate, and what did he say? That we're going to get $900 million a year from our. Let me stop this echo for you. We're going to get $900 million a year from our carbon credits. $900 million. Okay, I know that that is a lie. That we can get much more than that. Um, but if we just go with his number, which we know is a lie, like when Rumi Ferrero said the whole aragonite industry is only worth 2.5 million with an M dollars. It's nonsense. That's what they're doing again. So $900 million, what we're going to get a year? That sounds like a real hospital, doesn't it? That's $1 billion. So why are we begging? Let's get our $900 million and build a real hospital. Why are we going to have two hospitals in the north? Let me see. Why two hospitals in the north when most of the people live in the southwest and
Very
southeast?
true. Very true.
That's ridiculous. So why not have it in the Gladstone Road area? Well, what I'll tell you what Dr. Davel said as his excuse. Dr. Davel said the land in that area can sustain this big building, all right, 6-story building. Uh, where
What do you
is
mean by that?
it's nonsense to fools who would listen to that. Where is a Bahama built? That built on the beach. Where is Atlantis built? All right. So what do you mean you can't build it in in the Glasson Road area? They said it's too low. Okay, if you're looking at the southern part of Gladstone Road, that's lower. But why don't you just do a parking lot underneath then? And so the first floor would be elevated, right? So you just gotta have ingenuity. Put a parking lot, an indoor parking lot underneath, and then have the hospital start above it. If that's a problem, which it isn't, right? It's just a lie. Why don't you use the part of Gladstone Road that's next to and west of Fusion, the movie theater?
Yes.
That's all hills. And there's a lot of vacant land there. There's hundreds of acres of vacant land right next to it. That's hills. So they just want to have it in this specific area. And then if you look at the documents that they release about this area, the hospital is only going to be on one small, minute part of this. They acquired 50.03 acres of land, Steve. That's their document. All right, I'm looking at it right now. 50.03 acres of land they acquired for this. A lot of that land is protected land. So you didn't do it to expand because you can't put it on most of that land. And they're only putting it on the part right to the road, a small part. You know how much of that is going to be used by the building and the yard outside?
How much?
2.56 acres. So why did you acquire 50.03 acres when you're only going to use for yard and building 2.56 acres? It's on their document. They said uh, the proposed square footage is 111,548 square feet. An acre is about 43,650 square feet. So this is 2.56 acres. So you bought a bunch of land. This look like a land grab. But who are you buying that land from? So we need them to tell us who own this land that you're going to be funneling. Some of that 290 million is going towards buying the land. All right. And so 50 acres is a lot of money. How much is that word per acre? You see where that is? That's next to Sanford Drive. That's almost near the Sanders Beach. Is that 500,000 an acre? How much money is that? Is it 500,000 an acre?
So who do you believe owns this land, or which group of companies?
There are rumors that Frankie Wilson and Arak Holmes and them have land in that area. All right, and other persons.
Not again.
Again, because he has land for sure next to it that he's developed, and they believe that this
You
land,
think he has anything
and the
to do with
government
this
needs
thing?
to confirm it to us.
You think Mr. Wilson has anything to do with this? So Franklin has anything to do with this whole thing with the land grab, or as you put it? That's what it looks like.
Whenever the PLP gets in power, this is the kind of stuff that we see. We see this kind of under the table deals. When the FNM gets in power, they just go and take what they want. All right? And we know that Pintard is going to be a puppet for Brent Simonet and Fred Smith. We know that. Brent Simonet has never endorsed anyone, but he's all about endorsing Pintard. Pintard came out defending the All West Coast when the government challenged him about the $50 million food program and the money that went missing. They said, oops, Pintard was defending them. So how did you haven't defended Bahamian people at that point? Are you defending the All West Coast? And now he's defending the port, all right, against the government. So now you can use who they're defending to see where their money is going to come from.
You don't think it's just a matter of principle that he's defending them because he doesn't agree with what the
You
government
can't
is
defend on that principle. How could you give money to persons who have zero experience in feeding the public in this country? How could you funnel $54 million?
No, I wasn't talking. I was talking about the fact that he was defending the Grand Bahama Port Authority and this whole thing with this all this money with Brady Davis. I'm saying that they've been owing them. I'm saying that he would have been defending them, the Port Authority, in that particular aspect because of the principle involved in the whole matter, saying that this thing could not have happened, and they would have already paid. This money's already back to the government at that particular time. That's what I'm saying.
No, I don't believe it's a principle. I believe that's who's buttering his bread, and that's
Okay.
why he is defending as it relates to that. There's a lot of things that the port actually didn't do over the years. The port was supposed to build some schools and hospitals and do certain things that they honestly just didn't do. All right. The port seems to have lost his way, lost his vision. And why don't you be honest and say these things? And then people would say that, okay, you're just being fair, but you're just focusing on, we don't want the government to take over the port. Okay, you're right, we don't. Not this government, and definitely not the FNM either. But you have to deal with reality. The Freeport area is, it looks like a disaster area, like a disaster movie. Buildings falling apart, run down. People are suffering. People are sleeping on beaches. It's, come on, something needs to be done. And it's not just the port, and it's not just the government, but we need vision. And the government is ultimately responsible, because if the port is not living up to what they're supposed to do, then something has to happen. We need real negotiators. So I just wanted to say that. So back to this hospital. Who wants the land? Because they're finding every excuse not to put it elsewhere, and the excuse doesn't add up.
I see that. I
You
see
see?
that I see that they're already gung ho on this particular property that they're looking to build.
Mhm, mhm. And so the hospital is basically a sham. All right, it's not a hospital. So we need people to stop calling it that, because they're just using that so people, when they interview people, they can say, "Hey, do we need a hospital? Of course we need a hospital, but you're not giving us a hospital.
See,
If I can't go there because I'm having asthma, that's not a hospital. If the only way for me to be seen there is to be having a baby, that ain't no hospital. Yes, technically it is, because people could sleep there. But come on, man, give us what we need. Don't sham us, man. We keep getting swing over and over, and we love this.
words.
Yes, and we love this.
So, what are you telling your people? Are you telling your people that this is not a hospital? Are you telling? Because I've never heard anything come out of the COI camp that says that look, this is not a hospital. This is a maternity clinic or whatever it is.
Well, our deputy leader, Dr. Veronica McIver, has spoken to this. She's done a release on this, and I have also done a release on this. Now, the problem is the media isn't covering us, of course, because they don't want the truth to get out there. And so I have to go live every Sunday at 5 o'clock and let people know, because people aren't even getting the notifications anymore. The government seems to be blocking the
Yeah,
notifications
well,
from going out.
because of what happened with me just recently with the situation that happened, I have not been reading up on a lot of things. I'm just getting back into the full swing of things now. That's one of the reasons why I decided that I was going to call you today
Mhm.
to make sure that we can be up to speed on some things, so we can look at things that Chase and deal with. And so, I try to be what that happened with myself with that kind of
Yeah, you have my
situation.
deepest sympathy.
It's sitting for a loop. And so, we have to put it all together. We can still on the air and all that kind of stuff, but at the same time, frame of mind and all that kind of stuff, not the best at that particular
Yeah.
time. Hard copy, how are you?
Yeah, good afternoon, Steve. It's good to be back. It's good to be back. Preaching number 7, GNN.
What's happening, GNN? What's going on?
Right here, man. Good afternoon, Mr. Lickman.
Good afternoon, my brother. How are you? Awesome.
It's good to be back. It's good to have you back. I hope all is going well with you.
Yes. Yeah, man. Everything's going to be.
Okay, good. Mr. Bean, I am listening with interest to what you're saying. You're basically right on point. But there was one thing that I listened to Dr. McIver. I don't know if she can say it or you can say it now. You're building a maternity hospital, right, in this country. I have some friends, some female friends that were not caring. They were getting out. Someday they come home extreme. They'll be tired, be frustrated. What happened? They say, man, we on the maternity ward on the 10 features, but I just was a hypothetical because on the 10 features, if we can't understand, that's what none of them say. So,
what a dilemma. I said, what a dilemma.
Yeah, so fast forward, Mr. B, your brand new maternity hospital, behaving women are not having children like that, maybe one or two. So who you think, Mr. B, is going to be laying up in the branch right in the hospital, take the papers of those beds?
Well, we mentioned that at the beginning of the show. I said out of 20 patients, one is Bahamian. And of course, this is going to benefit others, not us.
Yeah, of course. That is what that is for. And I think the Prime Minister is fulfilling the double agent. He's fulfilling his promise to his people.
Boy,
He's doing the promise to the Bahamian people, but he doing on the other hand.
Well, the Patriots got their work cut out for them. That's what that means, you know.
We certainly do.
Because the fella's not only going to try to capitalize on who's here, he's going to bring more baby machines here and
Yeah.
make more babies in here. And the next thing you know, before you can blink your eye, you will be no more.
It's a plan. It's a plan. It's a plan. And what is this? What is this called? What the prime minister did prior to and what he's doing on the treason. On the treason against the Bahamian people.
Yeah, but we don't even know what treason mean no more. See, let me just bring you around to it. You've got to say exactly what is actually happening. What he is doing now, he ought not to be able to even think of doing it. If he thought of doing it, he should surely drop down dead. That's what has to happen because it is not correct. It is a betrayal to the entire country. And so when you break down this treason thing, don't talk about this treason because people ain't even understanding what you're saying. That you got to call it what it is. This thing is utter nonsense, and it should not even be even considered by anyone in this country, much less the prime minister.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So you gotta all these pretty words. Forget it. I keep telling blackmail and what's his name? Ricardo Thurston and them. When you come to the show, my friend, I don't need you to be using too much big words on me. All right? I don't like big words, you know. I could use them, but you know, you're missing the mark if you're calling too much big word, and these people didn't understand what you talk about. Talk to them what you mean. Say to them what you mean. So they can understand that this whole thing about treason, that's just another word. Say, what do you mean by that? The tree. Listen here. Tell this man you're dead wrong what you're doing, and you should not even be thinking of doing something like that. But you see, you got to make sure that people understand what you're saying because we're gonna lose this battle if we don't watch out. I can tell you that. See, because we're not talking sense to these people. These people need to be talked to with sense. They need to understand something. This is our country and we better fight for it, or we will lose it the whole damn thing. You understand me? We'll lose it.
The final stop the invasion t-shirts print it up so we can galvanize
Good.
a political entity
Good.
along with whoever wants to do and we can get this thing done.
You better. Thank you so much, man. It's good to hear from you too, Malcolm.
Yeah, man.
All the best.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah. You know, I just want to say I agree with you that you have to be a good communicator in order for people to understand what you're saying. Dr. Miles taught me that. I had a chance traveling with him all around the world.
Yes.
And he never used big words. Go and look at all of his sermons. He never used big words. He told me that. He said, never
Keep
use
it
a big
small.
word unless
Keep
you're
it
going to
small,
break
keep
it
tight.
down.
Keep it
Per
small, keep
person.
it tight.
In his writings, never use big words. People can't understand. He said, if you're doing that, you might as well speak Spanish. Why are you going to use a word that people got to look at in a dictionary for while they're listening to you?
That's
And so that's
sophisticated. You know?
yes, that's
That's
important.
for Mitchell.
Yeah.
Fred
And
Mitchell.
so they don't want you to understand them. That's why they do that. And so, you know, I also want to say that I support the movement of the Patriots 100% wholeheartedly. And I thank these gentlemen for having the courage to do what they're doing. It takes courage to do this kind of stuff, you know. But I also want to say to them, while we are doing that and we are pursuing this through the courts, we need to organize ourselves as a political entity to go and take the government.
Yes.
This is why I say that, Steve. All right. And again, I support them. We've put our money where our mouth is. We've sponsored them and we've done what we can. And every time I talk about them, I make sure people know I support that movement. All right. We got to stop the invasion. At the same time, we got to hit on every cylinder. All right. Because a court case in the Bahamas, a magistrate court case will take several years.
Right.
All right. A Supreme Court case will take much more. You could be in court for 5, 10 years, Steve. All right. You're not gonna have a court
No
case.
results.
You're not gonna have a court case before election. You saw what happened with the Shanty Down thing.
Exactly.
And only because we put pressure and protested,
Absolutely.
they were forced to go back to the judge and get a decision. So while election could be next year or next year after next, because you didn't file for an injunction, you're not gonna have an immediate case. This could be in the course for 10 years. In the meantime, calling on all strong men. While you're thinking that apolitical could work, there's nothing wrong with a political party fighting for a cause. There was nothing wrong with the PLP fighting for women to vote. You don't say, make that apolitical. Women should just vote. Don't support the PLP in doing it. Let's have a secret mission on the side. No, the PLP fought for that. It's not nothing wrong with them fighting for Bahamians to be able to have certain rights. Right? Go ahead.
I got a call on the line. Good afternoon, caller. How are you?
I just have to call and put my music here with the hospital. I know that the Bahamian people really understand and really see what's going on. Like you said earlier, Steve, when there are words and there is a situation that you have to really think. And when you think about this hospital that they're building, and most of it is supposed to be for the maternity people, it's like the area where they have it, where it's going to be built. Our country has changed so much. It's like, sadly, you can have no Bahamians anymore in the country. It's changed so much. So the hospital is really not built for Bahamians. It's really not. And you have the high class people out in the west and around that area, and then you have the other people from the south who are having the babies a lot. So it's really not for Bahamians, and Bahamians should realize and understand that the government is really not for the people. You can see it all around. It is really not for the people. And how long are we gonna sit and just know that the government is not for the people, but we still voting for them? I mean, you can tell with the upcoming
general elections.
With the FNM
the convention, yeah.
Right, and how the people are following Pinta and minutes, but they're not even looking. It's like we have lost our people. Oh my God, I'm sorry to be excited like this, but if we have to open our eyes, that hospital is not for the Bahamian people. It is not for the Bahamian people. They're gonna have to go to the St. Paul hospital to have their babies, and the new hospital gonna be for the new people. All the different corridor race will be for the other people.
My Lord, what a country, eh? This is what we have been building all these years. A country not for us.
Jesus, not for us. Wow. I just wanted to put that there because it's so sad, and I have to call it to really say that, because if we look around, the country is not for the Bahamian people. The taxes are for the Bahamian people. And you're paying your taxes, and look at the roads, look at the clinics, look at the schools.
Everything is deplorable.
Look at the islands.
They think they're doing such a good job.
Wow.
Everything is deplorable.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Anyway, you guys have a good evening. Thank you for taking my call.
All the best. Thank you. It's one of those things,
Yeah. They're patting themselves on the back for nothing. I see they had a big thing with in Exuma, Water and Sewage is laying some pipes, and they're having big celebration over that. Like, seriously? Laying pipes? No one should be celebrating doing their job. That's like me celebrating my maid making up the bed or washing the dishes. Oh, my maid washed the dishes. This is such a good maid. That last maid before was so bad.
50 years' time. Should we not have hospitals for the family violence?
Yeah.
Should we not have ambulance service on the whole for the family violence?
Yeah.
Should we not, the inhabited islands, should we not have the fire engines on the... See, I'm showing you something, right? I have no degree and no education. I'm showing you something. You mean to tell me it takes us all this time, 51 plus years, we had been doing business with all these people in our country, all these years, every nation we've been doing business with. We could not even get basic hospital supplies, basic ambulance service, basic hospitals in these areas for the people. All these people came in, invested their monies and all that kind of stuff. We couldn't get something from those persons who would have been able to be the philanthropists and doing things like, making sure that We have not just the recreational parks, playground. I'm talking about tangible things.
Mhm.
All these years, we couldn't hustle nothing from those people.
Mhm.
We are still depending upon the Chinese people to come and save us through a miscommunication endorsed by the government of the Bahamas, this particular government of the Bahamas, the PLB government, telling us that this is a hospital when it's really a maternity ward. When they have been tricking the people for so long, we don't know what to believe from them anymore. You mean to tell me that we gotta have some other people come in, take residence in the Bahamas, legal or not, the illegals or legal people, and they're gonna live here, reside here, work here, school here, play here, get jobs here, have citizenship here, all these things, and the Bahamian people are not on the line yet to get served? What kind of country is this place? Who the hell is in charge of this place? That's what I want to know.
Let me
All these things you see happen every day, and not a Bahamian can say, um, all you want to talk about as Bahamians is a PLP or use an FNL.
Mhm.
What a shameful group of people we are.
Let me say this to you, Steve. What's missing is vision. All right. Our politicians have vision and they're good at negotiating to benefit themselves, but not for the. Let me show you something. You have options. You need good negotiators. Let me show you an example. You have three major hotels on New Providence Island alone, right? You have Albany, you have Bahama, you have Atlantis. You could the first phase of Atlantis costs $1 billion, and each phase after that costs $1 billion. You could tell them, listen, if you're going to be bringing all these people into our country, we're going to need a hospital. And so we're going to need you to contribute a portion of it. Bahama, you have all these people coming in our country. We need to make sure we have a proper hospital for them if they get sick. You're going to contribute a part of it. Albany, you're bringing all of these people into our country. You're going to contribute a part of it. Oh, Carnival, Royal Caribbean, Carnival, you're making $20 billion a year, which is going to be probably double this year because they're doing more ships this year. Royal Caribbean, you made 10 billion with a B dollars. We're going to need you to contribute. So we need
That's supposed to be
we
doing.
need
We've been missing the boat.
we need 300 million from you, Atlantis, 300 million from you, and 300 million from you. So in your budget as you're building that 3 billion or 3 point something billion-dollar hotel, put 10% of that in there for us to make sure that we have a proper hospital, proper ambulance, and etc. for our people. Now you see the difference in negotiation. The
Yeah.
problem is they too busy negotiating for themselves under the table, trying to get stores in the building, trying to get their own business, negotiating, trying to offer them services like we had questions about Jerome Fitzgerald. All right. And so they're busy negotiating for themselves instead of for us. Now look at this. So, and I'm sure they would be willing to do that to make sure that yes, that contribute to society so they look good. They love to do these. That aside, let's say you do a mandatory health insurance for your tourists. You have 9 million tourists. Let's say you do the health insurance of $50, which will guarantee you if something happens to you, you have free healthcare in the Bahamas, or we can helicopter or fly you air ambulance over to Miami so that you can get your proper healthcare. I think tourists would do that. When we're renting cars in the US, we pay more than that for insurance. All right. When you're renting your car from Dollar, look how much you pay for insurance. And sometimes you can get insurance that's going to protect you and Bahamians pay for it. All right. They'll pay sometimes $19 a day just for their rent a car insurance. So if you charge everyone coming in that ship, everyone coming in the hotels, you charge them an insurance to make sure that they're safe. That money goes to building our hospital. If 9 million tourists, $50, what is that? $450 million right there. And that's free money. All we need is vision. That's all we need. So with the contributions of these people who want to build their big resorts in our country, we're not going to stop them. They're going to build their resorts just as we're going to build ours too. from our natural resources. But now we need a vision. We need a government that's going to sit down every day thinking about how they can make life better for the Bahamian people,
That's what you need.
not make life stressful for us. And that's what's missing in our country, real vision.
I tell you. Anyway, it's right now 6:38. We've lost a lot of our time here today, but it's been good talking with you and all that kind of stuff. We're going to talk again for our next 20 plus minutes. Let me go and draw and pay some bills here, and take care of some commercials and all that kind of stuff. And then, of course, we'll come back and continue here on the last portion of our show today, because this hospital thing has really been an eye opener. I didn't know that some of these things that we talked about. They didn't know some of those things, right? Like the hospital is going to be not a hospital, but a maternity clinic. And that's the size of it.
Yeah.
You're going to build this for 920. How much?
They're spending $290 million.
$290 million. $290 million on this hospital. And the end result is that it's only going to add more to our problems of woes and distress. Because we've been having woes and distress for a little while now, since the last 60, the 80 years. With illegals coming to the country and just taking the residence and doing what they feel like doing. And now it's going to happen more, even more.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what our government is doing. This is what your government is doing.
Yeah.
So if you don't understand that, I can't make it no plainer for you. Can't make it no plainer for you. This is hard copy on this May 27th. We're coming back after these words from our sponsors. And of course, you're going to be back in a short time from now.
We're on commercial break. We'll be back in just a minute.
What's going on? Very informative. I love listening to
Thank everyone for tuning in. We are on a commercial break, and so we'll be back just in 1 minute. So you won't hear any sound while we're on a commercial break, but we'll be back in short order. All right.
but they don't really think about it. You've got your pretty flowers for the spring and Easter time, but you have no fertilizer to keep them looking good, peaceful, and serene during the season. No problems. Go to Rocky Farms Nursery located C3 Lane in Foxhill. Get your choice of fertilizer for the springtime. And always, the prices are most affordable at Rocky Farms. So place your order right now. Rocky Farms also have Easter plants in time to spring, Easter lilies, and every fruit and vegetable you can imagine. Rocky Farms, your home away from home this spring. Be sure to stay cool all year round, especially when those hot summer months roll in. Keep cool. Cool Tech. Located on Williams Valley Highway, Cool Tech is your #1 affordable air conditioning center. They install and service everything they sell. That means prompt, reliable service 24/7. Cool Tech, the only way to stay cool. Guaranteed. Call Cool Tech right now, 341-5665. Call Cool Tech today.
When you see the folks, everybody listen. The windows more quick. Every day you got this thing with hot coffee, hot coffee, hot coffee. I don't listen, but evening visit. You know that for sure. On Mondays through Fridays, still you the score on hot coffee, hot coffee, hot coffee. I don't listen, but
Well, we welcome you back to our show. It's 6:47 right now in the country. It is Monday, the 27th day in the month of May, 2024. We're talking hospital today, or we're talking maternity, maternity clinics today, because this whole thing what we've been talking about doesn't appear to be a hospital at all. It appears to be something else, and seems like to me somebody's trying to dupe us into something else that is not. And we better be very, very careful because we warned you earlier today that these are some things that this particular government is doing right now that seems to be making a lasting impression to make sure that people are going to be duped and swayed into doing some things that they will regret eventually if they have any amount of sense in their heads. Because what is supposed to be a hospital being built by the Chinese, that maybe that was the controversy right there. Say the Chinese can build it and they'll go on with that and they'll miss the mark as to what this whole thing is all about. Somebody called and said they suggested this could be for a big blood drive because collecting blood is now a commodity in the Bahamas, especially in these islands where they say it's beautiful with sunshine. It'd be more even beautiful with our blood and that kind of stuff. You never know. See, it sounds so foolish, right? It sounds like, oh, but stay right there. You see, there's reasons why people do things because there's no free lunch, $290 million to build a hospital in the Bahamas on a strip of land that people saying, well, you buy all this strip of land, but only one small little part is going to be for the hospital and all this thing. But you buy all this vast majority of land. Is this a land grab? We ask those questions today. We don't know. No one is telling us anything. Nobody's asking the real right questions on these matters. So when the person calls and say this could be about this whole blood thing, and they believe now that blood is being wanted by so many institutions around the world, just like body parts.
Not just blood. Body parts are one and two, but not just blood. But the placentas, the afterbirth, is very valuable. They use it for stem cells. There are doctors here who made a lot of money, including the former prime minister, selling afterbirth. All right. And initially it was being done without the permission of the women. Now women are being asked for permission because it belongs to them. Before, they didn't realize how much value it had. And so they use it for stem cells. So now investing in that, now you're gonna probably get even more, So
yeah, well then if you got people who you're not obligated to because they are no citizens of your country and all that kind of stuff, all hell could broke loose in this
Yeah.
town. See, we we are a wicked bunch of people. That's what it is.
Mhm.
Something is wrong with us because we cannot be doing these kind of things unless they are completely of the devil. It's not. It's not correct.
Everything is based around corruption, Steve. I had a live the other day, Steve, where I talked about the last case where the young man is a gun smuggler and a drug smuggler. He was arrested, and he was arrested with, I mean, thousands of ammunition, I think, and 16 guns or 15 guns and 300 pounds of drugs, and he got
Wow.
5 years.
5 years.
5 years. Now, about 2 weeks ago,
Only 5 years.
there was a guy who had one handgun and he got 4 years. One handgun.
Inconsistency.
It's not inconsistency, it's corruption.
Well, it is corruption.
Because what we found out, I had a lot of police officers call me, including senior police officers and persons who worked at the Ministry of National Security, to tell me that the mother who was locked up with the guy, that she works to the Ministry of National Security. She is the assistant to Wayne Monroe. She was, when you go upstairs to the second floor to go to see Wayne Monroe, you see her before you see Wayne Monroe. All right? So she is an assistant to Wayne Monroe. And this is the lady who was arrested with him. And now you see a light sentence. We can't definitively say that that's what it is, but we must avoid corruption and the appearance of corruption. You understand? And so that is Wayne Monroe's assistant. That's the receptionist when you go upstairs. And so Wayne Monroe jumped when people started complaining about this 5 year sentence, this light sentence, and he defended it. Why did he defend it? Because it's connected to him. And this is corruption that we have in this country. All right? He jumped and justified it, said, oh, it would have dragged through the courts, and the courts take long in this country, and all of these excuses he had. No, it wasn't about that. But it seems like whenever there's some connection, Wayne Monroe jumped. There was a guy who got, I think it was a 4 year sentence because he raped a girl. And Wayne Monroe jumped up and said, oh, yeah, the girl gave consent. What? It's a little girl. It's sickening. We put these people in charge who are criminal lawyers, and everything they do is to defend criminals. They just passed a gang bill, that it didn't need. But when you read the gang bill, they got rid of the death sentence in it. I showed the acts on my live, where now if you murder someone but is in the pursuance of being a part of a gang, you can get life in prison, up to life in prison. All right, which means from 1 day to life in prison, up to life in prison. And so that was the purpose of that bill. It's corruption. And they said if it's retaliatory, which most of our murders are, if it's retaliatory, you could only get up to 20 years. So all you got to do, if you get caught murdering someone, just say, hey, he did something to me and it's retaliatory. And you only get 20 years. These are the kinds of things that these guys are doing in this country. We need change. And we need real men to stand up. Steve?
Where are we going to find these men from? Let's explore these men because, you've been telling me this change for a long time. I hear of this change. I wanted to be a part of this change a long time ago. And I recruited some men. I figured that these guys were all about this same change I was looking at because we were in the height of our situation at that time. And, we used the gatekeepers at that time. We were to use the gatekeepers to make sure this change happens. And them got in and they won the game, the election. And in that particular state of my mind at that particular time was this. We needed to change, and we could not care less that people were thinking that this was going to be a change of politics. Didn't matter. We need the change because you have to sometimes go that way of the politics to make the change. Now, I say that for a reason. Today, we've got men who were saying that they don't want to be a part of nothing political. They just want to be an advocate for this, an advocate for that. That's going to fall on deaf ears. I'm telling you, this is experience I'm talking with now. This is experience I'm talking from. That's going to fall on deaf ears because nobody's been a longer advocate than I on this radio station for months and months, hair in and hair out.
Wow.
It's going to fall on deaf ears. They're not listening to you. They're not going to listen. You're not going to motivate people to get them and go and march in the streets. It's not going to happen. You hear what I'm telling you?
Mm-hmm.
Now, Why am I saying that? Because I'm trying to get these other people who are now talking about the change they'd like to see. They got to be that change that they really want to see.
Mhm.
They've got to take on the wings and the foot soldiers that the way it must be done to bring about that change that they want to see. They've got to be evidence of that change. You have to be involved in that change to become the evidence of that change. Otherwise, we'll talk change for the rest of the
Yep.
for the rest of our lives. Nothing is going to happen. These fellows have to understand that it's not about advocating for a change. It's not about doing your t-shirts and doing your head doing that. Listen there. Change means coming together and forcing some people out of the way to get the change that you want to see happening in your country to make sure that the people are going to be safe and sound.
Mhm.
That's what it means.
Yeah.
So all this thing about, I don't know, we should be getting in that because that's too political. I don't want to do this. And you have no choice when it comes to the change. The
Mhm.
change factor means that by any means necessary,
Mhm.
when the Lord told Moses to go down and tell the people to let Pharaoh let my people go, he meant that.
Mhm.
Wasn't taking no, but I can't talk, I just stammer. That's too bad. You're still good.
Mhm.
That's what change is all about.
Yeah.
Change is not about a fella joking around and thinking that you looking for record and looking for name, rank, and all. No, no, sir.
Yeah.
Change is about doing the right things at the right time to make sure that happens for the people
Yeah.
who God wants it to happen for.
Yeah.
So I ask those people today, what are you doing? What are you really doing?
You cannot you cannot say you don't want to deal with politics, but you're going to go to the politician and beg them to do what's right.
Yeah.
You're going right back to the same politician. So it doesn't really add up because, okay, what next? Like, let's say you put something in writing, you give it to the politician, and then he says, no. What next, Steve? What are you going to do then? You're depending on that same politician. You're taking it to a political party to get them to do what you want them to do, and that's not enough. All right. Now we did that, but we did that because we wanted to educate the Bahamian people that they're fighting against you. Don't mind the talks. We're going to force them to make a decision and watch the decision that they make, and it opened up the eyes of a lot of people, and that was our MO.
Hard copy, how you doing?
Good evening, Steve. Good evening, Mr. May.
Good evening.
Good evening, Steve. I would like to get a 2.5% interest loan if I could. Right now, the prime rate in the United States is 8.5.
Mm-hmm.
So the question is, why would the Chinese be giving us a loan at 2.5%?
Ah, boy.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
And we can't be stupid about this, all right?
Mhm.
They're giving us that loan because it's a quid pro quo arrangement. They are gaining access to our markets, right? In exchange for these quid pro in these deals, they're getting access to our markets.
Mhm.
They're getting access to our restaurant markets.
Yes.
From Mortimer Candy Kitchen, Steve, down to Southeast Police Station, there's no less than 20 Chinese restaurants
Oh, boy, tell me about it.
alone. They're gaining access to our liquor license.
Yes, they are. And we're not doing anything about it.
By these low interest loans, they are in effect buying access to our restaurant or liquor. They bought access to our hotel markets, Steve.
Very true.
And oh, by the way, Steve,
Mhm.
they have bought access to our downtown market.
Tell me about it.
Those so-called Indians downtown, they're not the owners. I know one of them personally from Sri Lanka. These people are broke.
Yeah.
They are being pimped by the Chinese.
My
That's true.
Lord.
That is true.
That's what they're doing.
Yes, the Chinese are pimping these dudes. All right? Because they feel that it'll be more palatable to the
Yes, yes, yes.
people,
Yes, that's what it is.
rather than their people. That's all it is. Steve, the Chinese is intending to piece by piece, dominate our entire business market community by underselling uh, their products and services to hammer Bahamian businesses out of business. And once they are dominating sufficiently the entire market, then they will hike up the price on us. I see Bahamians running the Chinese. Oh, no, Chinese cheap, the Chinese cheap, the Chinese cheap. Yeah, they're cheap in the short run.
Yeah.
But once they've driven Bahamian business companies out of business,
Mhm.
then they will hike up the price, and there will be nothing we can do about it, Steve.
My Lord. My Lord.
All right. Now, Steve.
Mhm.
That aside, I wonder if we could look at this immigration situation. It's slightly connected.
Yes, go ahead. I'm listening.
Over the last 40 or 50 years, we have no reason to believe that we can stop illegal migration into our open borders.
Mhm.
So therefore, what do we know? We know that they will keep on coming,
That's right.
and there's nothing we can do to stop them. So whatever the numbers are now, how frightening they may be,
Mhm.
it's only going to increase. They're going to increase their numbers through illegal migration and through their birth rate. And so
You just said
what
it.
I'm getting to, Steve, is we don't have any choice in this matter. We are going to have to do what the Dominican Republic has done.
Yes, that's right. I agree with you.
No choice.
I agree with
They
you.
are going to continue to overrun us, and there is nothing we have proven.
Until we are run
We
out
have
of the
no
country.
evidence.
Exactly.
We have no evidence to suggest that we can control migration and we can't control their birth rate. So we have no other choice. Now I know how many Bahamians feel. We
Mhm.
all have patient friends that we like, and we feel very fond of them.
Mhm.
But that will have to be put aside.
You better believe it.
The good ones will have to suffer for the guilty.
Absolutely.
Steve.
And I'm all for that.
All must be who are they're here illegally must be repatriated, and those who receive their papers illegally must be revoked and sent home.
Simple matter.
Only that which we need.
I say the same thing, my friend. Say simple matter.
Okay, we don't have any choice. I hope your audience understand what I just said.
Oh, they've been hearing this. They've been hearing this. They've been hearing this for months and years now. They've been hearing this. Yeah, we better. We better. And I thank you for your call. Absolutely, my brother. Yeah. You see, yeah, we don't have no choice.
No.
What choice do we have?
And only one organization is going to have the courage to do what needs to be done, and that's the COI.
Yes. Good afternoon, sir. How are you? Good afternoon. Are you there?
Good afternoon, Mr. Mckinney.
Yes. How are you?
I'm good. Ricardo Thurston here.
Yes, Ricardo Thurston. How are you?
I see you have Mr. Baird in studio with you.
Yes, I do.
And well, let me say this. And I'll keep it short. I see we are answering back and forth the merits of what I am doing versus what Mr. Bain is doing. And you're speaking about it in a kind of, we all understand what's going on. So I would like to invite Mr. Bain to have a debate. And for Mr. McKinney to be the debate monitor, and we can discuss the various aspects of the vision for the country moving forward. So I would like to extend that invitation to Mr. Bain to have a debate.
Well, good afternoon to you. And again, I don't understand why you're saying we're discussing the merits. I just want to make this clear to you. I support your movement 1,000% with all my heart and my soul. And that's because I have been doing this for many years now. I've been fighting for the carbon credits. I've been educating people about the carbon credits. There is nothing to debate as it relates to our carbon credits. I'm not interested in debating. Let me just finish. Let me just finish. Let me finish. I'm not interested in debating about the carbon credits. We have already educated people Myself, I've done that. You and others have educated people about the carbon credits. Everyone believes in it. Now the government has bought in and they are singing the praises of the carbon credits and what it could do. So there's nothing now to debate. We've already educated Bahamian people. The only thing now that we have to do is this has to get implemented. Now, the PLP administration, let me just finish. Let me just finish. The PLP administration has said that they are not going to give it to the people before election. I told everyone, I had a meeting with Brave and what he said. All right. He's not going to give the benefits to the Bahamian people. This before election. And they went out. He said that everything I was saying about the carbon credits is true, but they went out there saying that Lincoln Bain is selling dreams, carbon credits isn't real, et cetera, et cetera. So they're not going to give it to you. He took it from the Bahamian people. And on top of that, he put a law in place to say that if anyone says anything or reveals any secret, they go to jail and they pay or they pay a big fine. So you're not going to get it from him. The FNM has also said that they're not going to give it to the Bahamian. Let me just finish this point. Let me go ahead.
Right? We're not going to debate the merits of carbon credits because I don't believe that you have the skill to do so. And what we're going to do is talk about the best way of going about achieving the sovereign wealth and patronage for the Bahamian people. Let's have a debate about that.
You don't believe that I have the skill to do so? Mr. Thurston, Mr. Thurston, we don't have to insult each other. You don't know me and you don't know what I know. So listen to what I'm listen to what I'm saying, my brother. Listen to my brother. I don't understand what all the vitriol is for. I don't understand what all the vitriol is for. But my brother, let me just say this to you. I support the movement that you are talking about. I am not interested in debating about the best way to fight for the carbon credits. I have been fighting for the carbon credits. I was on the street getting locked up for this. I protested, went to the government, we drafted a bill for Bahamians to benefit from their natural resources, etc. And so I've been fighting for this. I am not interested in debating the merits of it or saying who is right and who is wrong. Bro, if you want to sound like you are right, and you want to be a professional, you want to say that you're the professional in this, go ahead. I don't care about the credit for anything. I just want us to benefit. That is all I want. I'm not interested in saying we should do it politically or we should do it apolitically. I'm not interested in that conversation, my brother. I am interested in working with anyone, including you, Mr. Thurston. I took you to lunch on 2 occasions. I took you to lunch, paid for your lunch, and had a conversation with you about the fact that we need to work together as a people. You said you didn't want to work with me because people would think it's political. I said, so be it, but it's not going to look good in the end. You mentioned to me that you were having talks with the FNM, all right, at that time, but you said in the end you wouldn't work with them. But you mentioned to me that the FNM was I'm having conversations with you about this stuff and about working with them. And so that causes some concern. You don't need to attack the people who are on the same page with you, my brother. All right? I would stand down before I become a hindrance to the Bahamian people benefiting from their natural resources. I would stand down before I become a hindrance to us benefiting from our carbon credits. My brother, this ain't about me, and this ain't about you. This is about the opportunity of a generation that we can all work together to fight this fight together. Now, you may want to do it apolitically and say that we're not doing politics, and that's fine with you. Do it your way if you don't want to. But I can tell you as a Black people, the one reason that we don't prosper is because we don't know how to work together and we have egos. I am not interested in an ego match with you because I believe in what you're fighting for. I will not open up the door to having an ego match with you. All right? I can teach you about carbon credits. I could teach you about trading. In fact, I've done that professionally, teaching people how to trade in my company called Master Trade House. All right? I worked with professionals who've worked with the biggest banks in the world. All right? Like I said, you don't know me. All right? So in relates to the carbon credits, etc., I know that better than you think. And I may be involved in some stuff that you don't know about. All right? But I won't put stuff out there. But my brother, All I want to say to you is, all I want to say to you is, I love you. I love your movement. We don't need to have any disagreement about the small things. That's not major and minors. But all my advice and opinion is, we got to go take this country, because I ain't going to brave them begging no more for them to do what's right. That's all I have to say. All right. Now, you may feel differently about it, but everyone who feels that we need to unite, organize, and set up the structure for us to go and take this country, let's go. For those who want just go and beg, brave them to do what's right, if a man robs you, that's the last thing I can say. If a man robs you, Steve, he pull a gun and he rob you, like what Brave did to us with the carbon credits. You're gonna write a document to give to him to say, "Man, give my money back." That's what you could do. You, the robber, gonna do what's right.
It's what a fool believes.
No, we have to go and take that back from him. We are going to take our carbon credits. We're going to go into the house and take our carbon credits.
Good afternoon, Jeffrey. How are you? I'm listening to what's happening.
My brother, I'm good. How you doing? Yes. Yeah. Mhm.
And so on and so forth. There's a movie I hear him talking about and debate. We do not need a debate between these parties. These parties just companies because we are all on the same mission, all on the same page. The fight, we have to carry the fight together. We together must go fight against the governing party.
That is correct.
That is where the fight must go. Not here. Right now, it just bans all parties concerned with your carbon credits and southern justice. And we have to stop the story that's so often it comes down to carbon credit. I lean on yourself, I lean on Princeton to bring the information and educate us on what this stuff is all about. But when it comes down to the benefits for the Bahamian people, which I feel
Yes.
Exactly.
I hear what you're saying. Yeah.
Thank you, man. Good afternoon. Steve.
41 missed calls.
Wow. Yeah, everyone's calling now. Steve, I care about one thing. Bahamians benefiting from their natural resources. I don't care about saying who has the biggest stick, who is smarter. And I don't care about the ego part of it. I care that we need to work together. Whoever think they are smart, so be it. I'm not here to prove my education level or my intellectual level. Bahamians have seen me over the years and they know what I'm capable of. I think that we need, what is more important is that we come together and fight this fight. small things aside and let's come together and let's fight this fight together.
Hard copy, how are you? Oh, man.
And I just want to make this clear while he's trying to get that straight. I'm a Bahamian, and this is Bahamian first. And every protest we've gone to, we've not used the COI logo. We've not gone in COI colors. We've gone out as Bahamians. Every single protest from before the election, if you remember, we have done that. And so we are doing this as Bahamians.
Okay, hard copy, how are you? Hello, are you there? I guess not. Okay.
And so don't tell me that I have to put aside my political affiliation in order to do anything. A political party can stand up for a cause. I believe that. And we are Bahamians who decided to come together for the best interest of the Bahamian people.
Yes. Hard copy, how you doing today? Elder Dames, how are you, sir?
Hey, man, listen, it's good. Truly reason on is good. I just want to put in a point here. It amazed me about Ricardo Turkton, my friend. And I had to get him to say this publicly. I don't know what Ricardo is trying to say. There's no substance in trying to debate Mr. Bain. Ricardo is in his CEO, he's come from knowledge, and I respect the way he's at. Ricardo has to respect Mr. Bain where he's at, and the knowledge that Mr. Bain also has. Ricardo never fought for this country. He never put his life on the line for this country. So what disturbs me, and it really disturbs me when I hear my friend Ricardo comes on radio and wants to debate Mr. Bain. There's nothing about debate. It's something we need to fight together to save this country out of the tyrant leader. But it seems like, the greatest sin a man could ever commit, and I hate for one in the sight of God, is pride. And one of the things, the human being, they love notoriety, and they always, especially the black niggas, they always want to be in the top. They will see another person's vision. And if they have some vision, come together, sit down, discuss it. The COI is a political party. You cannot change things in this country if you are not a political party to get the people power, to put you in the seat of authority, to present our law so we as the Bahamian people can live. We can talk as much as we can. I always say this to person. You can be educated, but not intelligent. What makes a person intelligent is when they can sit down together and add common sense to their education. And all of us are smart in our own way. All of us are intelligent in our own way. But the greatest degree we ought to apply to our education is common sense. We got a country to save. We got a nation that we are fighting for.
And some of us have been here a long time trying to save the country. Don't forget that.
And I'm very disappointed in Mr. Ricardo. And I'm very disappointed in you. It seems pride is a silly thing. And I don't appreciate. We got a country to fight. And Mr. Ricardo, although with your knowledge, come put your knowledge with Mr. Bain's knowledge. He's the head of a political party, a third party in this country, looking to take power for the people, so we as the people, including yourself, so we can benefit together from our carbon credit and every other thing else in this country. So this is not a time to be trying to push and to save us. You want to debate to show everybody know, Ricardo, that you have some legal knowledge. You have some knowledge in your field. And Mr. Bain was fighting, he has a lot of knowledge in his field and really knowledge on different things. So this is the problem with our black people. We all want to be, you can have 10 leaders in one organization. You cannot do that. And this is what the PLP and the FNM want. I don't know if someone is pushing Ricardo. And you got to see here on Saturday. I have to talk to you, but I have to say that you you come up publicly, I have to really say, I'm disappointed in you. I'm very disappointed in you, Mr. Ricardo. I'm disappointed in you for you to do that and talk to the child of the man. This is the time not to know challenge. This is the time to come together. And that's when this war. Right now, you're fighting a battle, but we need to win the war. And the only way we can win the war is when we, with our knowledge, come together in one shell and share with one another and say, okay, this is what we need to do. We have to learn to submit to one another, experience to submit to one another knowledge, but we only can have one leader leading this kind of time to bring this country and take it into the new Bahamas. I love you, Mr. You're my friend. Mr. Bean is my friend. And guess what? And Mr. Bean has fought in this nation. I didn't get locked up and fought. And so why are you on the chance, Mr. Bean? What's the purpose? Only thing I can say is pride. You need to get rid of pride. The Bible says pride cometh before a fall. Let's fight together and let's win this war. We're in a battle.
Pride cometh before fall.
We cannot win it by pulling against one
True
another.
words have never been spoken.
Love you, Mr. Bean. God bless you.
Love you too, my brother.
God bless of yours. And let's do this together. God bless you.
Thank you.
Yeah, just want to make this clear to Ricardo Thurston. I still appreciate the work that you've done over the last year. You have done it brilliantly. I love the way that you have broken down the act that they passed, and you showed Bahamian certain things in that. You were very good at that, and we need you to continue to do that, and to continue to educate the Bahamian people. We appreciate everything that you have done, and you have done it brilliantly. So you're appreciated. All right. Still willing to work with you and anyone else who is willing to come out there, get together, and fight for this cause. But I'm still going to be on the front line, taking the blows, taking the bullets. They're going to scandalize me every week. There's going to be another scandal, another lie. I'm going to continue to take that. Probably next week or week after, they'll have another thing about me. But that's what it takes when you want to really fight to see change. I've been kicked, dragged, stumped, spent time in jail, eating jail food. But again, I appreciate the work that you have done. I am no better than you. You are my Bahamian brother, and we must work together.
That phone call that I received just now was Ricardo Thurston calling me back. That's it again. Let me just tell you, I'm not answering that phone call anymore. I refuse to answer that phone call because I don't think that Ricardo's is about the essence of what the show's all about today. You think that Godfrey Talavo or Mr. Dames, Elder Dames, was disappointed? You all do not know how disappointed I am. So I'm not taking any more calls. I will pray this evening that he will not be so full of pride, and that he will allow people to have their say like he wants to have his say. I'm a fair man. That's the way it's going to be. We're not going to tolerate that kind of stuff on this show. For nobody. Not Ricardo Thurston, not blackmail, not Tricky, not Sydney, nor Lady Russell. We're not going to do that. We have to be fair. What happened this evening on the show was an outright attack by Mr. Thurston. For that, I am very sorry for it. I want to apologize for that. Okay? And Mr. Bain, I want to thank you very kindly.
I just want to also say this for everyone to understand. I have invited on many occasions Ricardo Thurston on my platform, on my live. I did a live series. It was not about COI. There were people there that I even don't agree with. All right. We had persons on my live. It was just a vision series. and I invited him to speak and educate the Bahamian people about carbon credits. I offered him my platform, all
I'm
right,
sure you've done
so
the
that he
right
can
thing.
speak. I
I
even
don't know what to make of Ricardo Thurston in the last couple of weeks. I can be honest with you, because those calls you heard just now, they're not the only calls I've gotten since the time he called me that first time on this show and attacked yourself. I've gotten numerous calls for the last 2 months. That's one of the reasons why I say, let me just weigh this thing again. I'm being honest. See, you've got to sometimes, in your exuberance to help people, you make mistakes. I'm hoping that's not a mistake. And I'm going to leave it right there. I'm hoping that's not a mistake. In your exuberance to help people, because you're trying to build a country, you must include all people when you're trying to build a country. I'm serious about building the country. Always has been. It's always been my thing. Check my record. It's 42 plus years old now. My record in journalism. Check it. I'm not going to have anybody come and ruin the show or ruin what we are trying to do to build a country with nonsense and garbage. That's what it is. Pure nonsense and pure garbage. I'm disappointed. That's our show for this evening. And hopefully all things will go well.